International recovery operations continue in Japan. Several weeks after the enormous quake and tsunami disasters ravaged northeastern Japan, officials on Saturday, April 2nd, reported the confirmed number of dead and missing to be over 27,000. An intensive three-day search mission that began Friday with 18,000 Japanese and 7,000 US military personnel was joined by police, Japanese Coast Guard and fire department members. A unique survivor was spotted by the Japanese Coast Guard when a dog was found in the sea 1.8 kilometers off the coast of Kesennuma, Miyagi Prefecture. He had apparently survived since the disaster by drifting atop a roof among a mass of debris and was brought to safety in miraculously good condition. Meanwhile, to help ease the lack of power supplies, the Thai government is sending a complete power generation facility with 2 gas turbine generators to Japan that will provide sufficient electricity for up to 240,000 households.
On Saturday, Japanese Prime Minister Naoto Kan personally traveled to the disaster-hit Rikuzen Takata city of Iwate Prefecture, where he offered the nation's solidarity with victims at a shelter, ensuring them that the government would support all reconstructive efforts. The Prime Minister then went to the J-Village Operation Base in Fukushima Prefecture to encourage the emergency teams working to cool the reactors at the damaged nuclear power plant. Head of the International Atomic Energy Agency, or IAEA, Yukiya Amano, meanwhile stated, the situation in Fukushima remains very serious. To assist in the nuclear crisis, a 155-person U.S. military radiation control team arrived at Yokota Air Base in western Tokyo on Saturday.
Meanwhile, Japanese military helicopters that had flown above the Fukushima plant were found to have above normal levels of radiation, even after decontamination. The plant's operator, Tokyo Electric Power Company, or TEPCO, reported early on Saturday that airborne radiation levels at the plant appeared to have stabilized based on measurements taken from 8 new monitoring posts. However, officials also confirmed the new discovery of a crack emerging from a maintenance pit that is seeping highly radioactive water directly into the ocean, with radiation levels in the air above the leak measuring over 1,000 millisieverts an hour, 10 times the amount known to cause cancer risk. TEPCO officials stated that the crack likely resulted from the 9.0 magnitude quake and may have been leaking ever since. After first attempts to plug the leak with fresh concrete did not succeed, workers are trying to seal it with polymer materials instead. Supreme Master Television spoke with American writer Mr. Paul Zimmerman, independent researcher and lecturer on radiation safety.
Though human beings might be protected from radiation that's washed into the ocean, what about the fish? Is the garbage that we release into the world affecting life in ways that we don't even think about? And they have identified areas where the food supply is contaminated, and it's all being concentrated in our bodies. And so the dose that a human being ends up accumulating might be very significant.
Workers at the nuclear plant are still racing to remove irradiated water from the turbine buildings of reactors number 1, 2, and 3, with TEPCO officials saying that a large artificial floating island is being considered as a way to store the water. As preparations resume for the pumping of fresh water from a U.S. Navy barge into the reactors to cool them in the hope of preventing further radiation leaks, all plant workers are known to be risking exposure to potentially fatal amounts of radiation.
And those people might suffer acute radiation syndrome and feel it very quickly. In terms of longer-term pathology, we're not going to know for a long time in terms of how many people are going to develop thyroid difficulties because of the absorption of iodine-131 into their bodies, or more long-term in terms of cancer rates. It takes years or decades to get a picture of the health problem.
Our appreciation, Japanese, US and all other international personnel, for your tireless efforts to assist the disaster-stricken, as we also thank Mr. Zimmerman for sharing these valuable insights on nuclear dangers. May heaven protect all those affected by the recent calamitous events, as we pray for the greater benevolence of humanity to restore the balance and welfare of our ecosphere.